Hello everyone, today we will be creating a starter kit with Vite React app. We will be using TypeScript and Tailwind and Shadcn for styling, and we will also use React Router for routing. So first you need to create a folder and open that in VS Code. I already opened the folder and open the terminal in VS Code. Now run this command to create a Vite app. Dot means basically the current directory where the project will be created, and the name will be this folder name. And now select a framework. Now we will be selecting React and variant TypeScript SWC. Okay, so now our project is set up with TypeScript and Vite React. Now we will be installing Tailwind. So run this. It will take some time. So you can actually read this blog, official blog of Tailwind, to install it with Vite, or you can follow along with me. So the latest version is 4, but we are using 3.4, which is stable. You can also use version 4 also. Now let's see if it's finished. Okay, it's also going. Okay. So in this project we will be using Tailwind for styling, but we will also use Shadcn components like buttons and alert or anything you need basically. So first we are setting up Tailwind and it's installed, and just run this to initialize the project with Tailwind CSS. There should be a Tailwind config file. Okay, we need to update the file. Update it so that it searches these files for Tailwind classes, and also source index.css files. Source index.css. Paste the things we have just copied. Source app.css. Okay, it's not needed. You can delete it. Then app.tsx, just paste these things. Okay, so these are basically Tailwind classes. This will be applied. So let's just check. Okay, you can run npm run dep, which will run our project in localhost 5173 port. Open the link. You should see the underline, bold, and also font 3XL. So we can ensure that our Tailwind classes are being applied. So we have successfully set up Tailwind in our project. Okay. Now Vite React apps comes with ESLint, which is basically a linter with some rules. But we also need a formatter like prettier. So install the package. Let's tab dependency. Okay, let's open another terminal. And we need to create a file in the project root, prettier.rc, with some basic rules for formatting. You can add also more rules, like these are suggestions some I can sing. You need to also add a prettier ignore file also in the root. Add this so that prettier ignores these files, and some commands so that you can run to automatically format the files. In the script section of package.json, add a comma and paste. So you can basically check now with format check So by formatting, let's say if we just, so this is not formatted correctly, there is no consistency, but we can check it. npm run format check. This will show which file needs formatting, like two files. Tsx is one of them. We can now actually format. See that this is formatted now. Okay, so sometimes ESLint and prettier have conflicts. To resolve that, we need another package. Install it, and in this ESLint config file, paste these things. Paste this ESLint config. Let me close this. Just paste it. So you can see we have added prettier, and also a rule that, like, if we declare a variable but not use it, this will just show us warning, not error. Like, we can test it here, int const 10. So you can see that value is declared but not used. So I am seeing this basically because I am using VS Code extensions for ESLint and prettier. So if I hit Ctrl S, it's getting formatted, but you can, in your project, you can add ESLint, which will be added by default, and also the formatter prettier, so that your project is self-dependent. See, the same thing is assigned but not. Okay, we will remove it. Now we have checked this, so finally successfully I have set up prettier for formatting. Now we will move on to the Shadcn part. This is the official documentation to start Shadcn for Vite. You can follow this, or you can follow along with me. So before initializing, we have to update some file. So tsconfig.json file, tsconfig, just pasting. We are basically adding some base URL and aliases. Also, this portion of code in this file in compiler option. So let us go to the tsconfig app.json compiler option. Just paste another comma. Okay. So if you don't have VS Code extensions, you can just run npm run format, which will do the job. Okay, we need to update Vite config, but first we need to install this package. Let's install it. Vite config, paste these things. Okay, we are ready to initialize Shadcn. Run this command, which will basically ask us some questions like this: which styling and which color. See, styling, select New York. Sorry, you have to put your cursor in the terminal. Then base color neutral. So this will be updating our Tailwind file and also source index, source SS files, and also install some dependency. So you don't need to do anything else, it will do its own. After this is done, we can add components. Shadcn components are basically, you can use these components like if you need a button. You don't need to write your HTML code, you can just run this command and you will see this button. So under the hood, this code will be run. So let's see. Okay, it's finished now, and you can see there is a component.json file like New York style, basically some settings for Shadcn. Okay, let's close some of the files. Now we'll be adding a Shadcn component. We'll be adding a button component. So here in the source folder, it will create a components folder, and in the UI folder you can see that button. Okay, it's done. This is the actual component. This is not our code, but we can easily modify it. But for current context, it's basically as if we have written this. Okay, we will use it in app.tsx. Paste these things. We are importing button components. So let's see if we can see it. Yes, click me. So that means we have successfully configured Shadcn. We can use any other components also. There are many components like a card component or checkbox component. In the preview you can see it. In the installation part you can see which command to run to add it to your project. You can deep dive into it. So always follow the official documentation if you can. Okay, now we will be using some routing. Like currently there is no routing. Like if I hit home, against home there is nothing to be rendered. Always this thing is being rendered, but you can see there can be so many pages like about page, home page, dashboard page. So we need routing. React is a library, so it does not handle routing. For that we will need this package, React router DOM. So we will create a home page under the pages folder. So in source, create a pages folder first. You can install this extension in VS Code. If we have it, you can just type RFC and easily some code snippet will be generated. But I will be just pasting this for now. Okay, we have downloaded it. Now we actually need to configure the routing. Like we will need to create a routes folder under source folder. Create app route.tsx. Paste this. I will explain a bit. Just paste these things. I will explain it. And main.tsx. So basically for routing we actually need a browser router, which we are importing from React router DOM. So this basically wraps app component. App components calls just app router, which is from this file. So it's where actual routing is declared. There are the routes which can have many routes. Each route has a path and an element which will be rendered along with this path. So if you go to this path, home will be rendered. So you can also add many other paths like about or contact, etc. So now if we just see that this path is being rendered home page, let us go to the home page. Class name bgreg500. See the button, the Shadcn component, we can customize it, and also this is the home page which is being rendered. So if we just change the path, that nothing is being rendered, but if we go to the home, that home page is being rendered. So in this way you can have many pages in your pages folder, about, dashboard, profile, etc. So you can just write those paths and it will work. So we have now routing enabled. So to sum up, we installed React app with Vite with TypeScript, and we have also installed Tailwind CSS and Shadcn, and we have our routing also. So this may seem a bit complex, the routing part. Like the first entry file is main.tsx, which is calling app.tsx, which is calling app route, but you can take everything either in app file or app.route file, because app has nothing else except calling the app route. So that's it. You can follow this my blog. And for the final thing, okay, we need a env file in the root actually, .env, where you can have any API key secret or the backend URL. So as we are using Vite, every environment variable should start with Vite, and we should add the env file in git ignore so that it is not pushed in the git commit, as it may contain sensitive key like API key and many sensitive info. So when you use it, you just type import.meta.env and the variable name. So I don't have anything or any backend connected, so I don't need it. So basically this is the setup. You have source folder, components folder, pages and routes. The entry is main.tsx, which calls app, and in these pages along with home you can create many pages. You can also create many components, or you can use existing Shadcn components. You can use Tailwind classes like bgret, flex, etc. And you have also routing enabled in this route file. So overall, you can follow this blog to create a Vite React starter kit. I will be pushing the code in this repo, and I will give the link to this repo and this blog in my video. You can just clone this repo whenever you need a Vite starter kit, so that you will get a head start when making a project. So thanks for watching.